So Magic, what happened? What symbol were you working with last week?
Yeah, I choose the word regret, and that was to the past card. And I think it worked not only to this kind of stuff which we had in the session. Actually, it like expanded to another, like to reality, what is actually going on right now all over the world. Yeah. So I had this a little bit regret, so to say, that I didn't really speak up. So it changed, and I don't know. It's a little bit heroic, I think. So I need to be. I don't know. I need to be careful not to explode with this kind of, you know, speaking the truth or something,
Oh,
because
okay.
now on the island the people are freaking out. Actually, it is something is going on, So I don't want to go into the details because probably each of us here experience this differently. But as I have connection to Thai people and also to Farangs, so I know like both sides. And the natives, so to say, they are really afraid, you know. And we Farangs, we are a little bit more easygoing, and it is like I don't know. Hopefully, it will be quiet as it is. Yeah, but I've heard some news, so to say, that they because of this, they will plan to close the island for 4 weeks. But we'll see. Yeah.
Okay. So how does that affect how does the regret come into play?
Yeah, because I was just like keeping for myself this knowledge before a little bit, and now I just don't regret anymore keeping anything for myself. I just speak, and some people don't like it, but yeah, but we'll see what will happen. It's just I just like opened and I said I need to do my own stuff. I just need to speak because I don't want to have any regrets in the future. I just want to be myself and to feel freely that this flow is coming to me. I realize that I can't really function without being myself right
Yeah,
now.
that's great. Welcome to the club.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get at least one hate message every day. Something I've shared, on Facebook, because I've given my opinion, and suddenly I'll get someone who hates what I've said. I've even lost friends. Yeah, I lost one friend, not a friend, good friend, but somebody I found out recently. She didn't like what I said, so she came off of my Facebook. I don't care. To be honest with you, it's not that I don't care. That's not my problem. You can't control other people, do what they want, because my intention is always good. It's not a bad intention, so I know that. We can only judge ourselves. But yeah, it's quite interesting. Yeah.
But I believe we are on the right page of history, so I don't really feel. I feel actually that we need to speak up and we need to inform, at least to inform people.
You've got to share your knowledge or your wisdom.
Yeah.
Absolutely. If everyone shares their knowledge, then that can be helpful. Like, I don't know everything, but I know something. So some of my knowledge might help. Some of your knowledge, some of Nadine's knowledge. And when you hear all the knowledge, you can maybe pick and choose, what makes sense. You might think, oh, that person's knowledge and a little bit of knowledge there and a wisdom there. And I'm now building a picture. And to me, that makes sense.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's a lot of conflict, a lot of conflicts happening, especially because of the whole COVID. That's created a lot of conflict between a lot of people, and it's like,
and we need to actually speak to each other. Yeah, it doesn't matter which side, who is who. We need to talk to each other, not to create this separation.
Exactly.
Because this is this which prevent us from raising the awareness.
Yeah, I really don't know. I don't know personally, because I think some people, you know, a lot of people know what is the truth for themselves. They know, you know, inside themselves, they kind of have a knowing. It's like people know they should drink, you know, water, maybe 4 or 5 glasses every day, for example, and they know this would be good for them, but they don't do it. So, you know, I think a lot of people know things, but they don't do it because the doing it is too challenging. So they tend to prefer not to look at that or ignore it because they don't want to do the challenge. And also people don't want to think. I mean, the other thing is there is a psychology. Not many people want to see their government as wrong or as doing something bad or wrong, and they don't want to do. They don't want to see it because they've chosen to be run by a government. So, you know, this kind of thing. So I think there's a whole psychology running through it. But I think people deep down know their own truth, but a lot of people aren't willing to make the change. You know, my grandfather said if he continues to smoke, he will die, and he continued to smoke. And, you know, he knew it was going to kill him, but he continued because it was too challenging. So I think a lot of it is people find it too, they want it easy. Most people want the easy routes. I've heard people do things like they'll be anti-vaccine, but they'll take the vaccine because it's easy. You know, they don't want to, they don't want to fight anymore. They don't want to go against, you know, the majority. And this is like a lot about human nature. Most humans don't want to go against the majority. Of course they don't. You know, the majority usually kind of wins most people because most people just want the easier route, which is, I understand. I do understand that. You know, we all want to take the easy road if we can. And I think what they do is they block anything that could be bad. And it's only a small amount of people who are willing to kind of see the truth and also live their truth and speak their truth and actually face the challenge, you know, that they, you know, believe me, I could have a much easier life if I didn't create, you know, or these kind of difficult conversations, or if I didn't share anything, I could avoid a lot of issues, but I could never do that. That wouldn't sit well with me. It's like, at least I tell somebody they can do what they want with that information. You know, maybe nothing, maybe they can ignore it. Sometimes I say to people, you don't need to read what I say. No one's forcing you. I said, you know, don't read it or don't listen to me. Yeah, well done. Yeah, you've got to keep on sharing the truth without causing too much trouble.
yeah. The thing is that we need to be a quiet, we need to keep the balance, like being flexible, and this is actually challenging to not escalate. You know, just to keeping on the level that it will be more like information than challenging someone, you know.
I think also some people are so blocked. What happens is when you trigger them, they react in a trauma, like a trauma. And it doesn't matter, rational thinking goes out the window. So it's also, for me, it's very important to, if I can recognize I've triggered somebody, and I've got to be really careful, because otherwise it's a waste of time. You know, me saying something to them will be a waste of time. So sometimes it's planting seeds, you know, small seeds to some of those people, because everything goes through to the subconscious, right? So when you say something, it's good not to get a trauma, like too much of a trigger, because I think when someone goes into a trigger, they block it. They block that whole thought or story. But I think if you put it in such a way that you're not trying to fight them, you're not trying to convince them, and you're being kind of a little bit gentle with it, I think sometimes nothing to fight, there's nothing really to fight too much. It then allows them to maybe go into their subconscious. And maybe one day, the next day, maybe they might pick up a book or read the news, and suddenly they've got a new thought happening in their head and they don't know why. If they knew it was your thought, they would block it, but it's just inside their own head. So I think sometimes we've got to be quite clever, sneaky, because actually that's what the governments do. They do it as well. The same thing. They could do it sneaky. They put things on adverts and very subtle, lots of messages. They're doing the same thing with their own messages. So it's for us to also do the same. Actually, even more powerful, because we don't need to, because we're spiritual beings, we can use our spiritual power to do that, rather than through television, or more subtle, more magic, using more magic, more spiritual power.
Exactly. I'm actually I had this thought for the last 3 days, actually, to figure it out, the way how to actually tell the truth in a way of maybe art, that the people will start thinking, instead of bombarding them with the information, just like I'm making this a little bit funny also. So with the humor and like a satire, like it will be that the people will watch it, but eventually later they will realize actually what the meaning is.
Yeah, definitely. I think humor is very important. When I'm doing coaching, and I'm a very sensitive subject with the clients, if I do it in a light and humorous, it receives, they receive it very, very well. If I go serious, they don't receive it very well. So I try and keep very, very playful and kind of light. And I can actually be I can talk about something quite, sensitive for them. But if I do it in that light way, with a smile, like a light way, they do receive it completely different. Rather than me becoming serious. It's like, it's very good. Well, we'll continue anyway. Nadine, you got anything you want to share?
Yes, I try to use the video. Maciek, if the connection is really bad, just let me know, because I don't know if it interferes too much, because I sit behind Gary, but I tried. What was my word? I forgot it. Neck. I worked on my neck, because I have the last few weeks I have quite a lot of neck pain, and then my action was like giving more attention to my neck, which I really do. Like every morning when I do my yoga, I now really give attention to my neck and like stroking it, and also do some exercises. So I couldn't really say that it helped. I still have neck pain, but it feels good in the moment when I give more attention. So I probably just need to, I don't know, give more attention or learn more about my neck. Maybe I work again with the neck today. So anyway,
that's cool. So what I picked up, Nadine, from that is sometimes like it can make it worse to begin with, because there's obviously a lot of something going on in energy, maybe old energy. It might be your muscles and that's been there a long time, in this kind of position. So when we start to stretch it away into another kind of pattern, what I find is it pulls back again. So it feels good at the time, because you stretch it out, but then it goes back again. So it's like it's like when I used to wear leather shoes years ago, and I used to stretch them to try and make them loose, and it would take a long time to really stretch them. It would always go back again for some time. So I think it's the same with your neck. I think if you just continue to practice, carry on doing your, maybe don't do it as strong. Sometimes if you try and do it too strong, you know, it might come back quite strong.
Yeah.
So maybe do it more gentle, and also, yeah, learn more about your neck, explore more, for sure. But don't give up. Sometimes people give up, but instead of giving up, just do it more gentle. You know, keep on doing it. Just even doing it like that, do it slower. You know, just slowly and more gentle. And you can use your healing, can't you? Your Reiki. Yeah, I think that's because what happens is when something's very sensitive in the body and you stretch it, you think by doing this it's okay because it feels good in the moment, but it can create more inflammation, especially if it's very sensitive already in there. And you start doing this and it's going to make it get angry and inflamed, and that would just make it worse. So I think you've got to be very, very gentle and careful when you're stretching this kind of areas which are holding a lot of pain. You know, really gentle and careful and slowly every day. And then I think you'll find it will gradually change.
Yeah, yeah, that's probably. Can you hear me?
Sure.
That's probably my learning from this, that it all takes time. Sometimes I want it maybe too fast. I think, oh, it must go away within one day, and it's probably the pain from many years, and yeah, so just need to give them more time to heal.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. Yeah, time. Yeah, okay. We'll carry on. So today we're going to work with the future card. So that's this one. So Magic, what do you see in this card?
So it is again like a crystal ball, and much more colorful. Obviously, that there are some symbols inside. Maybe a mountain I see on the left side, like something which could be similar to a mountain. Some symbol in the front, which I can't really describe. It could be a flame, maybe, and another one which is go up like a one piece of yin and yang. So and I see also a key, a triangle, circle, and a square, which actually are similar to this one which were before, but now they are like on some kind of chain. So what else? Yeah, definitely the colors are different, and in the middle it's like of this crystal ball is like a space. It looks like a shape of the chorus shape for me, actually, and it's turning, like twisting very fast, so it's spinning. So what else? If I need to think about the future, it is that the future represents here some kind of different varieties. So anything can happen. Just where we put our focus, there we are. So this is my vision if I look at this card. So it can happen anything, just there where our focus will be, we can manifest this, I think. And we are holding this in our hand, obviously, also. So we have power over our future.
Okay, nice. Thank you. And Nadine?
Yeah, first of all, I see the different, yeah, very colorful. So that's the first, which like it looks like a colorful future. I hear myself speaking. It's weird. Yeah, it looks like it's in motion, like it almost looks like a hurricane or whatever. Like, and I don't know, the black thing from a distance, it looks like an eye. So it could be, for me, it's like someone, I don't know, something is watching over my future, and yeah, I hold my future in my hands, so it's like I can create my future in a way. And yeah, again, there's the key, which like helps me to unlock things. Yeah, that's it.
Nice. That's cool. Yeah. So in Frido, part of the emotion family with the orange triangle, and the black triangle at the top is the masculine, and it's kind of the more subtle energy, the future, because the past, you know, it's already done. We've experienced it, where the future, you know, it's a bit unknown kind of energy. In Frido, this ball, this kind of globe, is our universe in the future. So it's already here. The future's already here with us, but it's in like an energetic state. I call it an emotional state, in fact. So, for example, emotions already are existing in our future, because we're thinking all the time, you know, what's happening tomorrow, or where am I going to be next year? You know, our subconscious is always thinking like what's going to happen today, tomorrow, in an hour. You know, so we're always feeling and subconsciously thinking and consciously thinking about things that are going to happen. So already we're putting things out there. Our emotions already are putting stuff out there. So this is kind of the emotions that we're putting out into our future. Every day of our lives, we're putting more stuff out there. And that's why somebody who's a victim in their life often continues to be a victim, because they're already putting the victim feelings out there in their future. So they're just going to go into it. You know, they're going to repeating it because they're already putting it out there. Because the emotions is what guide us. You know, if you can feel fear in your future, you're going to react to that. And a lot of people will react in different ways, but they'll either run away from it, or they'll whatever, or they'll try and block it in some way. The same as love. All these emotions are kind of influencing us, our behavior, our actions, which is basically it's influencing our future, what we're going to do, what we're going to manifest, what country we're going to go and live in, how we're going to communicate to people. We're being influenced all the time from our future feelings as well. You know, maybe we're scared about something, that's going to influence the way we communicate today. So yeah, this is all about connecting to our future emotions, because they're already there, they're being generated. So we can learn about them, and we can learn how to use them to help us, rather than them just us reacting to them. And in some way, I wouldn't say they're using us, but in a way it feels like sometimes our emotions use us. They're in control of us. I mean, I wouldn't say that's true, but we react to our feelings and our emotions. Like if someone's angry and they punch the wall, they'll say, oh, that wasn't me, that was my anger was controlling me. It's not really, but they're reacting to the anger in that particular way because they don't know how else to react to it. And emotion's quite fast, so we don't have time to think about it. It just happens, and generally we just react to it in our thoughts as well sometimes. So this is really nice because if we can go into our future and connect to these emotions and get to know them, first of all, like, for example, if you could go into your future and you could see that there is a hole in your path, you now have power because you now know what's in the future. So you can now either avoid that hole when you get to it because you're now knowing it's there, or you can maybe you can fix the hole, you know, before you fall into it, because if you know it's there, you can then fix it. So you have a lot of power by knowing what's going to happen in the future. This kind of energy is very powerful. Also, you can plant things in the future, plant seeds, whatever seeds you want to plant. You can put things there because that's what we're doing anyway. We're putting things there anyway, thoughts and feelings. So if we can actually consciously put what we want there, like feelings of whatever we want, love or joy or a harmony or clear, good communication, whatever we want to put there, we can put there as seeds by just thinking them and also feeling those thoughts as well. Because thoughts are a bit they're not useless, but they're half useless without the emotion that goes with the thought. So if you want to put something like love in your future, you put the emotion of love there too. So when you think, okay, I'm putting love in my future, love, and maybe I might think about things, what that looks like, you know, like I might picture what that love looks like. Maybe I'm healthy, maybe I've got a beautiful partner. So I'm creating my own thoughts and story and trying to also feel them so I can actually feel what it's like. It's like, oh, imagine that with my soulmate, and just relaxing every day, and I'm getting up in the morning and really, really tuning into how that feels. We're then planting those feelings and those thoughts into our future as well. So they'll start to affect us. So it's really, really powerful. And that's why some people, they just never change because they don't believe they can change the future. They don't think they can go into the future and change it because they don't believe it's here. They don't believe it exists yet. So this is really powerful to go into step into the future and change things in this way, or learn about things before they happen. Imagine that. Imagine learning about something. Imagine when you get married, learning about all the problems before you get married. Then you've got a good chance of staying married, you know, and actually because you've already learned about those problems that are going to come up. And also you've learned about the feelings that come up, because our feelings really, really can influence, as we all know, big time. You know, they either shut us down or they let us react in a negative way. You know, everything goes crazy. When we're in emotional arguments, it's like, this is crazy. This is going to be bad. You know, when the emotions are just there in an argument, they're just going to be bad usually. So it's like, but if we can learn to use those emotions, they're not bad anymore. You know, we can use their power in different ways. So this one's called future prediction. I call it prediction because we can predict our future. So just because, I'm going to read the card, just because we can't see the future doesn't mean it doesn't already exist in an emotional energy. By connecting more consciously to our future feelings, we can shape and manifest our dreams. When we're connecting to emotional energy, we can shape it. Only when we connect to it and embody that energy, we can shape it. we can use it, we can do something with it that we want to do. And it's just like making, you know, the clay, the pottery. I use this kind of idea in the past card as well. When we're connecting, it's like the pottery and the clay spinning, and we're trying to make a shape. We're trying to create something beautiful or whatever, ugly, beautiful. And it's like they're like the emotions. And if we don't connect to them, it'd just be a big fat mess. The emotions just go woo, because that's what they do. It's just energy. They don't care. They're not confined to the physical realm or the mind. They're just going to express themselves. Anger is just going to be angry. It doesn't mind what it does. It doesn't care. It just wants to be angry. It's got no mind thinking that's good or that's bad. It just wants to be angry. It's like a puppy. Just wants to play and poop everywhere or whatever. But when we connect to it, we can kind of train it in a way. I don't like to use the word train. I'd probably say learn to communicate. Because in Frido, when we've got perfect communication, there's always harmony. All arguments are from miscommunication or misunderstanding. That's every argument. Often you can have an argument and maybe after the argument or maybe years later, you suddenly talk again and you say, you know, we were actually both saying the same thing. We weren't really saying something different. You know, we both want to be happy. We both want to make joy and harmony, but we just don't know how to communicate to each other. So communication is really, really important in Frido. Yeah, especially with emotions, to communicate with the emotions and to the emotion as well. It's like, if I feel angry, it's like, it's only a problem if I don't know what this anger is. I'm not familiar with it. It's like me giving you a little puppy dog right now, or a puppy lion. You don't know it. I don't know what to do with it. I don't know how to train. I don't know how to communicate to it. I'm telling it to sit, and it's not sitting. You know, all this kind of stuff. So we're learning to communicate with that emotion. And once we can communicate, I can say to my anger, oh yeah, I'm going to do this with my anger. I'm going to hug somebody with my, I'm going to heal somebody with my anger. That sounds bizarre. It's like, how can you do that? It's like, well, of course I can, because I can do anything with any emotion, only because we've been programmed to think that's good, that's bad. You know, this can do this and that can do that, and this can't do that. It's like, no, we want to change the rules. We want to throw away all the rules and say, no, we're going to create new rules for ourselves. I can use any emotion. I can use fear as my friend. I can use fear to heal. Imagine you're healing with fear. So imagine someone's got cancer and you're healing with fear. How can you do that? Well, you can give their cancer, you can scare the shit out of their cancer to get the hell out of their body. Do you know what I mean? You can play around with anything, any emotional energy. Amazing. They're all good and bad. It just, you know, once you know how to use them, you can use them exactly how you want to. So this is so powerful. So the future is unknown, or that's what we make ourselves believe. Just because we can't see it doesn't mean it's not there. Our feelings and imagination are as real as anything else. We imagine our future, we feel the future, but we don't always understand what the future is showing us. We don't always know how to interpret this information. The energy of the future is always drawing and leading us in the right direction if we simply allow it to. So that kind of means, well, for me anyway, it's like, in fact, if we allow everything to be, this is my experience, it's always harmony. But, you know, we don't usually let things just be. We've always got like some conflict or some resistance somewhere. We might not think it, but this is my experience. When I've been in a place of beingness, everything's perfect. I've become the center of my universe. And it feels like I'm letting everything be. At the same time, I'm in the center of everything. I'm in total, it's doing exactly what I want, like in the flow. This is a nice experience. So, but this, for me, this comes to communication, I would say, as well. It's really allowing myself to communicate, to hear, to receive everything, to also communicate to everything at the same time. So there's a perfect communication happening when everything is just being. But we can't, to get to that point is not easy. That's why the Frido exercises are helping us, the cards, to get to that point. The point of beingness is one of the other cards in Frido. It's later on, because we need to learn how to be from different viewpoints of what being is. From a physical viewpoint, being is different than the spiritual viewpoint of being, or a soul viewpoint, or a mind viewpoint. So there's all different ways of being in ourself. So we're kind of looking at the being of emotion. It's like, if you're surfing on the sea and the currents are very strong, if you try and fight them, where that's going to end up. It's like, you're going to fall over. There's no way. You can't fight that current. The only chance you've got is to go with it. It's like in a car, when you skid in a car, you've got to go with the skid. That's the only way. You've got to go with it. And then you can be with it. And then once you're with something, you can go together. You can then be the leader. But only at the point when you become one. In Aikido, it's the same thing. When someone's attacking you like this, it's like, or like this, it's like if you try and go like this, you're just going to bang. It's going to be a physical crash. Everyone's going to get hurt somewhere along the line. But if you kind of go with it, like there's nothing there, I'm going to go with it like this. And once you become one together, then you can direct that energy. But only when you, not by clashing or by forcing, to go somewhere. It's like, if it doesn't want to go somewhere, why would I want it? Why would I want to force it? Like, just leave it. And that's the same with emotion. If that's an emotion and it's going this way, I'll go with it first of all. And then kind of, once I've become one with it, I can work with it. Because I know how it works then once we become one. I know how to use it because it just wants to do this. Some just wants to do that. So I can just let it do it. But over there or over there, you can do it over there or you can do it over there. And I wouldn't want to force it. If it wanted to stay there, the emotion in my body, like anger or depression, I'm not going to try and force it out because it just wants to be there. It's actually not causing a problem. The problem is my reaction to it. My brain is saying, oh, I don't like it. It's terrible. I've got to get rid of it. In fact, it just wants to be there, that emotion. So we can just leave it. We can leave it. I can leave anger in here. It's not doing me any harm at all. Or whatever it is, depression, sadness, I can just leave it in my body. It's like it's not doing anything to me. It's just living there. Affirmation for this card is my senses guide me to the right place. So my senses guide me to the right place. Yeah, just follow your senses, like what you're feeling, what you're smelling, what you're feeling, I would say, what you're hearing, always guiding us to the right place. Some people would argue, they'd say, yeah, but that wasn't right for me. That's because you're not listening to your senses. You might be listening to your brain or listening to something else, or you might find yourself somewhere and think, oh, that's not such a good place. And then you suddenly give up. But in fact, it might be part of the journey. You still need to continue to listen and then keep on following your senses. You might get to a brick wall and you think, oh, it hasn't worked. But that's because now you're losing trust. You're saying, yeah, I believe in my senses are taking me there. And then you hit a brick wall and suddenly you lose your belief in them. It's like, no, I've got to now listen. What are they saying now? Maybe they're telling me just to stay still for a day or a week. And we're trying to get somewhere. So it's like really tuning into our feelings and our senses and just trying to feel where they are all the time. So the guidance is to practice, is to feel into your future, allowing all emotions to flow through your body. Imagine all good and bad possibilities. Observe your body sensations. As you connect more to the feelings of your future, you will be able to observe how it's forming, giving you insights and opportunities to follow or change your path. So you might follow something, it might be a really nice feeling and a nice imagination, and you can just follow that, continue with it. Yeah, I'm going to continue with that. That's nice. And if it's a bad feeling, you could maybe change it. Once you're aware of it, so you can choose to follow or change something. But if you're aware of it, and we've got to be aware of it through the mind and also the body sensations, because it's still part of the emotion family. So we're talking about emotions, and in Frido, as you know, emotions in Frido are made up of thoughts, mind thoughts, I call them, and body sensations. And there we have, that's what we have, an emotion in Frido. So it's similar to the last week's exercise, but instead of going backwards, we're going forwards. And there's something slightly different we do, that's all. So I don't know if you want to try it. There's only 2 of you. You can have a little try. Normally it takes a lot longer, but we can just do a quick one. If you stand up, well, no, before you stand up, I'll just explain. On the sheet of paper here, I don't know if you've got that in front of you, but on the worksheet that we use in Frido, you've got one, Nadine, haven't you? You know yours. Magic, have you got one or two? I don't know.
No, we didn't send it off.
Okay, maybe you haven't got it. It doesn't matter.
I have on my screen. So.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So the first exercise is the mind exercise. So we create what I call like a timeline, the same as the past. But instead of having the past, it's got the future. There. So it's got present, and future. The past would be the other way. That's the other timeline. On this one, we're just focusing on the present to the future. And then on the top section, like here, we've got our thoughts. And on the bottom section, we've got our body sensations. Because this is the key. We really want to start to become more aware of our thoughts and our body sensations as being 2 different languages that we're experiencing. And then we would normally write down, like if you think about your future, you might get some thoughts that come in. Like maybe you're thinking, oh, I can imagine I'm going to be with my soulmate, or I'm going to get a new job, or whatever you want. There might be bad thoughts. You might think, oh my God, it's going to be horrible. I'm going to be depressed. Like whatever comes to you, whether it's positive or negative, you would then put them in somewhere, those thoughts along this top line. It might be very close. It might be tomorrow, like just here, or the next year, or it could be like really to the end of your life. And also when you pick the future, you've got to decide what that is. When you say the future, do you mean at the end of your life? Do you mean when you're 70, or do you mean, in a million years' time? You can decide what that future point is. People that believe in afterlife, and stuff, they might think, well, that's eternity, or that's whatever, or whenever it is, doesn't matter. But you just kind of jot things down along there. And then what you do is you look at each thing that you've written down. So Magic, give me one thing that you're thinking about in your future.
So at the moment, I'm thinking about the truth, that the truth will be revealed.
And when do you think that will happen?
Yeah, so I wish it could happen in the time of 2 or 3 months.
So be here somewhere near your present.
Yeah.
Okay, so exactly, right? So you would write that down there. And what you do is at the bottom, underneath it, on this area, you would put the sensation, the body sensations that connect to that. So when you're thinking about that truth, check in with your body sensations. What are they doing? What's your body doing when you're connecting to that truth?
Like I can finally breathe. It's giving me this feeling of satisfaction somehow, but the sensation is I think, lighter, not so heavy.
Okay. So yeah, so you could put things like, so when you said satisfaction, that might be in the thoughts area. You could put that
Okay.
around the truth, you know, satisfaction, because that's what you're thinking, you know, that's your thoughts around it. You know, you're feeling more satisfied. And then the body sensation is, yeah, lighter, this kind of feeling. So you're now connecting your mind thoughts around truth and your body sensations, and you're putting them together. That's really powerful. It might seem a bit weird now, like thinking about it. And what about Nadine? If you do the same?
Yeah, I work on neck again, so my thoughts would be like pretty soon, like present. I feel comfortable. I have no more pain, and my body sensation would be it feels relaxed and soft.
Nice. Yeah, isn't that amazing? Like, it's amazing. It's amazingly simple. But at the end of the day, Nadine, that's what you want. That's what you want to manifest. You want to manifest your neck being, having not thinking I'm in pain, and not thinking it's uncomfortable. And also, what did you put? Your thoughts were, what were your thoughts?
Yeah, feeling comfortable and have no more pain.
Okay. So that's cool. So imagine that. Imagine you're thinking those things, and your body sensations are feeling like relaxed and whatever.
Yeah.
Done. That's it. That's exactly what you're putting in the future. Sounds weird because you're not there yet, so you can't prove it yet.
Yeah, but it's like I have it more in. It's actually from present to future. So I mean, for me, it's actually like the next moment is already the future. So did you mean we need to put like steps from present to future, or because I don't really get it. I said like I don't ever want pain in my neck again, but that's
yeah. So basically, you put it wherever you think that's going to happen, or you feel you want it to happen, or you feel it will happen.
Yeah.
In your somewhere along that line. It doesn't have to be so exact. You know, this is just to give us a feel of our timeline, because we can't necessarily give it a day or a time exactly. So this is the idea, because eventually, imagine if Nadine, you could just do that now. Imagine if you could get your thoughts to say those things, and you could get your body to feel, you'd be there. Right? If you could do that, that'd be amazing, wouldn't it? And magic as well. Imagine if you could just do that now, think like that right now, and get your body to have those same sensations. You can almost feel it straight away. You know, with practice, you could have it straight away if you can learn, because it's a skill. We're learning a skill here. We're learning to, in a way, how to use our thoughts and our body sensations to create our reality. Yeah. Our experience, because that's our reality. Our reality is what we're thinking and feeling. That is our reality, to a certain degree. Of course, some people would say, yeah, but it's not happening outside me yet. But that's another thing. Then you've got to connect to those things in the future, like things are looking good, or my soulmate's there, and how does that feel? And just practice. It's a new skill. These are new skills. You know, I've never seen anyone really teach this stuff in this way, where, we can actually learn to do this. There's actually there's a way to do this. So this is amazing. It takes time. It's a new practice still. So then we go on to the body, the next exercise. That was the mind exercise. I call it projecting, mind projecting, because we're projecting. We're like projecting our future onto a screen, like a film. Because that's amazing. Imagine if you could watch a film of your future and you could actually see it. You know, it can give you a lot of power, seeing where you're going and what could happen. It just gives us a lot of power. The next part of the exercise is the body one, the body manifesting. So we do the walking, the physical walking. So try it out for a minute. Like find a spot where you are now, some space where you can stand up, and call that the present. So just, yeah, stand yourself up in a place where this is my present. And then ahead of you somewhere is your future. So just pick a point ahead of you somewhere that you can say that point is my future, like the end, like the last point. And you can even imagine what the future is. Is it when you're going to be 80 or 90 or another life or something? I don't know, but you can kind of give it a point. And as you walk through, stop at various points and just notice what you're thinking, how old you are, for example, at that point, and what you're thinking and what your body sensations are doing. Just to give yourself just a little experience. It's a new experience, so don't expect too much. Like I said, normally we do about half an hour or an hour sometimes just of this, but we're just going to do a few minutes so you can get a taste. And just walk all the way through. If any particular point draws your attention, you know, you have a stronger feeling, check in with yourself. How old am I? What's my age now? What's going on for me? What's happening in my life? And then check in with your body sensations. So thoughts first, and then body sensations second. And don't worry if you don't get anything or feel anything. We're just having a little play with the exercise, that's all. And then once you've got to the end, sort of work your way to the end point. So I don't know if you're at your end point. Go to the last point on your timeline. And I don't know if you're there, Magic, but I don't know if I can hear you, but maybe. Okay. So just check in, like, where are you? How old are you at this point?
70, 80.
Okay. And what's happening?
Actually, I feel like a sensation all over my body. It started gradually before, and now I can feel it everywhere.
Right. Okay. And thinking, what's happening around you?
Okay, I will come back.
Oh, no, don't come back yet. You can talk to me after. Okay. I'll finish up. You can come and share in a minute. I want to do one more thing. And then Nadine, I can talk to you in a minute as well when you come back. Yeah. So what we do is we want to walk backwards slowly. Again, stopping if you need to, if you feel like you need to stop somewhere and check in your age and what's happening for you. But it's more important now to drop seeds. So you want to plant seeds back along your timeline. So think about what thoughts and sensations, like what seeds you want to kind of drop off at different parts of your timeline. You might drop off a seed of money or a seed of meeting your soulmate, or a seed of good health. So you might want to drop off some seeds while you're in different positions. And the way to drop off the seed is just stop in that position. You know, say, oh, I'm 55 now. what's happening in your life at that moment, and check in with the body sensations, the sensations you want to feel. And then once you've done that, sort of carry on moving backwards. Until you reach your present point again. And once you're at your present point, you can just kind of, you know, ground yourself, take a breath, give yourself a shake, and then come back to the meeting. It's quite a clever, I mean, we only did a couple of minutes, so it's really just to give you a flavour of how it works. But I would suggest, especially with you, Magic, I don't know if you've done any, but do them. Do the actual journeys properly. Yeah. You know, you can do that online, you know, on the free play.
Yeah, and I saw your you are posting actually different journals also. So
I do, yeah. I normally put them on the group as well. But I'll put this one on the group as well. But you can access them all on free play. It's just on the website.
Yes, yeah.
You know that, yeah. Anyway, so yeah, so do that a few times, you know, sometimes for yourself, so you can really get into it and experience it. It can be very powerful, really powerful, that one.
Yeah, I can feel it already.
You can feel it already, yeah.
Yeah, because I think I'm quite sensitive to this like hypnosis and this kind of visualization. I realized that since 1 year when I started to work with similar stuff, that I'm very sensitive, yeah, so to say. It happens very quick. Yeah.
That's great. That's really good. And Nadine, anything you want to share on that one?
That felt nice. I didn't go too much in the future. It was actually, I already felt better when I thought about tomorrow and next week. So I didn't, so actually, yeah, the last step was then I felt like when I was older and I just wanted like to be healthy and have no pain, something like that. Yeah, that felt nice.
So just imagine if you can, you know, use your thoughts, or not control, I wouldn't say control them, but kind of, you know, but use, you know, choose your thoughts, have the power to choose your thoughts and also choose your body sensations. And then you're creating your reality. So I'm choosing my thoughts. I'm choosing to be really happy. And my body, my sensations are relaxed in my body and they feel light. Suddenly I've created a reality for myself of happiness. And that's really cool. So therefore, whenever I feel a bit light in my body, I'm naturally thinking, oh, I'm happy. You know, they start to connect together more. Or whenever I start thinking I'm happy, my body then starts to feel light. So we're starting to be more masterful over our emotions, over our reality. Because that is our reality. How we think, part of our reality is how we're thinking and how we're feeling. Mm-hmm. Just imagine that. If you could feel rich, and if you could think rich and feel rich, that'd be your reality.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly.
And what would happen is, when that starts happening, you then start affecting things around you, you know, making different choices, thinking about in different ways than you would do normally, because you're normally not tuned into that feeling rich. Yeah. Exactly. Someone who is rich, they're thinking rich and they're feeling rich. So they've already got it. They're already doing it. And that's why they think differently. And that's why they can make money more easily, because they're already in that energy. They know what it's like. So, but we can do that just by, you know, practicing getting ourselves in those energies with our thoughts and our body sensations. Where are we? Oh yeah, this is quite nice. So the variation of this, if you have when you get your sheets, I think Nadine's putting this sheet on the, you know, the Credo page soon.
No, it's already on.
Oh, it's already on there. Okay. The variation, I always say variation, because it's basically something you can do as in a group or with another person. So, for example, the mind exercise we did just before, and also the body exercise we've just done now, they're all designed you can do on your own. So every Frido journey you can actually do on your own. That's how I designed them. But they all have a variation that you can then do with other people as well. So they've all got the variation there as well. That's what that's designed for. So, for example, the variation of this one would be you choose one or more people. So if you're in a group or just a couple, you might choose that other person or people, or even an object to represent your symbol. We haven't spoken about actually the symbol today, so I forgot. So I apologize for that, because I normally say pick a symbol at the beginning. So maybe pick one now, or maybe you picked one already that you've been working on. I don't know. What's your word?
Yeah, I was thinking about, actually, I said before when we've done the exercise, I was thinking about truth.
Okay, lovely. Oh, that makes sense. Yeah, that's perfect. So you've been working with that anyway. And Nadine?
Yeah, with my neck again.
Okay, you already chose it, so I take my apology back. So you would choose someone or other people to represent your symbol. And then you hold on to each other and you spin clockwise, because the ritual for this is spinning. And you know, the card looks like it's spinning anyway. The future's spinning because it's in an energetic state. So it's in a spin of energy. It's not static. It's moving. It's spinning. It's moving somewhere. It's moving kind of forward in a way because it's the future. So the energy is always moving in a forward kind of motion. So that's why I chose the spinning as the ritual. And then what we would do is we would the other person would represent our symbol, and then we would spin together. So we're practicing spinning, you know, with our truth and with our neck spinning with it. So this is the variation. It's really nice. It's good fun as well. All the variations are a lot of fun. And of course we learn stuff when we do it. It's amazing what stuff we actually learn when we actually do it. You'll be surprised. And the ritual is called future breathing, or spinning and breathing. It's a double one. It's the same as the past, but it's opposite. It's the same ritual as the past, but it's opposite. So it's like so we start off it's breathing, but we're focusing on the in breath. The past is the out. We're focusing on the out breath. Whereas the future, we're focusing on the in-breath. The past, the reason why we do the out-breath, because it's to bring things out of ourself, old memories, past energy, to bring it out. Future, we want to bring in, to connect to it. So it's not over there anymore, it's with us. So we're bringing it in, whatever it is. Because even if it's something bad or whatever, emotional thoughts, we want to bring it in, so we can actually recognize it and work with it now, rather than some point in the future. And if it's something good, like something beautiful, like you're going to meet your soulmate, well, bring it in. Because the more we bring it in, the closer we get to it, right? We're bringing it towards us and we're coming towards it. So we're kind of coming towards it more. So we're always doing the breathing through the nose, but focusing on the in-breath. And when we're doing the breathing in Frido, the only important thing is focusing on the in-breath. It doesn't say how fast you've got to breathe, or how slow, or how deep, or how shallow. That doesn't come into it with the Frido ritual. A lot of breathwork exercises, they'll say do it fast, or do it slow, or do it. Frido's not about Frido. The only thing is focus on the in-breath. How you breathe is up to you. As long as you're focusing on the in-breath, you can do it however you want. You could do it fast, slow, deep, shallow. You can play with your breath, like, oh, however you want. It doesn't matter. You'll find your different ways. When you start practicing them, you'll notice your breathing will naturally find different ways of breathing. You might just feel like playing with the breath sometimes, but the only really important thing is to focusing on the in-breath. While you're kind of connecting to your symbol, so you just connect into your symbol like truth. You don't need to do more than that. Sometimes I get people to hold an object to represent their symbol. So you might pick an object to represent your symbol and just hold it while you're doing your ritual, because that just helps the body and the mind connect to it. You don't need to think about it anymore because it's already there with you. But you don't need that. Sometimes that can be helpful. But generally, you just connect to your symbol at the beginning, and then you don't need to think too much about it. Sometimes through the process, you think, thoughts come in about your symbol and feelings might come in, but don't try and force it. Don't worry too much. And then we start doing the spinning. So we start to spin parts of our body. So maybe our finger. Remember, in the past, we did it anti-clockwise. The future, we're spinning clockwise. So we're doing the breathing. We don't have to do the breathing yet. You can just do the spinning for the moment to practice. And then you can, maybe your other arm or your hand or your elbow. Yeah, whichever way you feel like's clockwise or forward. It could be forward, that's clockwise for you, it's going forward, or the head. You might spin your eyes, circles with your eyes. With your face. Your shoulders, which way would they go? Because they can't go to the, well, they could go to the side or forward, a forward motion. And you could do your hips if you wanted to, if you felt like standing up, do your hips. And again, it doesn't matter how big the circles are, how fast they are or slow. It's irrelevant. The point is, as long as you're clockwise, that's all you need to be focusing on. If you want to go bigger or faster, as long as you're going clockwise, your body will sort of, do what it wants to do. Your feet, your ankles or your toes. Apart from anything else, all the rituals help us connect to our body. I mean, that's one of the benefits anyway. Even if what I'm saying is a load of rubbish, all this practicing is actually connecting us to our body more and more and getting to know it, the muscles, how it moves in different ways. Some of the rituals are shaking, some of them is dancing, this one's spinning. So there are different ways of using the body. So apart from feeling nice in the body and allowing the energy to flow, we're also using the symbolism of it to connect to our symbol and to connect to the future. That's more symbolic. But, through practice, our body starts to connect. This is the future. I can connect to the future by doing this spinning. And eventually, you don't need to move the body. You can just like turn it on. Your body cells can just start connecting to the future energy, using that spinning technique. That's really powerful. Because it's just a concept, remember, it's a concept. We don't need to have a scientist prove that we're right or wrong. It's a symbol that we're using of this spinning. And then when you get really good at it, you can include the breathing with it. So as you're spinning, just focus on the in-breath through the nose, which can be a bit of a brain, a bit confusing. It's one of those funny things. You've got to be thinking of them both at the same time, but don't overthink. Just And by doing this, we're also training the body to breathe and move at the same time, right? Like often we're moving and we're not breathing, or we're breathing and we're not moving, but we can actually do them both at the same time. We can breathe and move. Okay, so that gives us a taste, a little taste of that. So Magic, how was that for you?
You know, I mean, you're asking about my feelings now, sensations.
No, just the ritual. How was that? Share whatever you want to share about it.
I think I'm still connected to this walk, which we done before, and I had this in my mind. So when I was spinning, the images which I had when I was walking popped out, and the sensation which I had before also, I felt it. It was at the beginning when I was like 45, 50 maybe. I felt the sensation in my hands, like they. I can say I felt like they are really warm, maybe. And later, when I was turning, spinning, and when I was walking also, my heart started to beat like really. I don't know if this was strong, but it was really that I could hear it, you know. And now I had the same feeling also. And when I became 70, 80, it was more like all over my body, like everything all together with my hands, with my heart, and with all of my being, so to say. That wasn't even my body, I think. It was really it wasn't really new experience for me, because I felt this some kind of something like this before, but not like in stages like right now. Now I could like go to this point and go back, and suddenly the feelings disappear until I'm in the present. So it was for me it was different than which I experienced already.
Mm.
And quite interesting that we can influence this, yeah, just with our thoughts, I think, or with our intention. It is really, really fascinating, actually.
Amazing, yeah.
Yeah,
It's amazing. Yeah, imagine eventually we can just like bang, just like
yeah. That's the thing, and on top of that, if we can really, really create the future, yes, if we can really, this what we are projecting, because actually I believe in this also, and this is not today. We know this is not the only believing system. That it's some kind of it's proven by science also that everything what is happening happened before, like milliseconds before. So it may mean that this we actually can project the future. We are creating the future, and with this techniques, I don't know. Maybe it is the key. You know, who knows?
yeah,
To the future.
gotta just keep on trying it.
Mm.
It's like for me, like if I want to put my hand over there, like I'm creating that future. I'm deciding I'm going to put my hand over there. And if I walk out the door now, I'm creating my future. If I make a food, if I'm making a meal, I'm creating my future. So why would it not be exactly the same? I mean, some people would argue because they think they're not in control of it. They'll say, that's different, Gary. You know, how can you control you're going to meet your soulmate, or you're going to, you know, but of course you can. If you could see how everything happens, you know, by like cooking a meal, we can see we're creating the meal. So we're creating the future, and we can see every step how we're doing that. We can't always see how we're creating stuff. So this is kind of showing us, okay, maybe this is how we've been creating things without realizing it.
Yeah, and our senses are very limited. Apparently, we can everything what we experience with our senses is only like 3% of the existence.
Mm.
So those kind of techniques, we are just like trying to figure it out, how to connect to the different dimensions.
Yeah.
Even
To me, it's very kind of logical in a way. This exercise, why we can create our future, it's very logical for me, because it's like, if you want to, like when how are we experiencing our reality? First of all, and for me, as far as I'm concerned, I'm experiencing it through my sensations, you know, whether it's through my smell or touch or my sensations as a body, and my thoughts. You know, as far as I know, they're my two things that's giving me my experience all the time, whether it's painful or joyous or lovely or horrible. And it's basically my thoughts and my sensations are giving me that experience. You know, I'm interpreting whatever's happening through that process. So I think, well, that's very logical then. So if I can just create the thoughts I want with the body sensations, I'm now creating my reality. It's like they say, it's logical, because that's how I'm experiencing life now, through my thoughts and my sensations. You know, if you're having a difficult time, like with your partner or something, like what's actually happening? It's like, you know, apart from the physical things, like, you know, I don't know, like physical things around you, you know, your body and your thoughts is giving you that experience. That's your reality. Or I hate this, or I like it, or, and then of course we get triggered. So we now say something, we think something, and our body gets triggered. So it starts to feel something. But you know, those two things are basically giving us our reality. You know, a big part of it anyway. So I kind of say, well, oh, that's really interesting, because if I can now choose my thoughts, if I can learn to choose them and learn to choose my sensations as well, because the sensations, why can't you choose your body sensations the same as you can choose your words? You know, why not? Why can't we do that? That'd be amazing, wouldn't it? Like, you can choose your words, because we know we've been training our brain a long time. So we know we can choose words. Like, we can say, oh, I'm happy, or I'm sad, or you're wrong, or you're right. I can choose my words. I can say, no, I'm having a really good time. Even if I don't feel like that, I can control my words by saying I'm having a good time. So so I would say the same about our body sensations. I say we can also choose our body sensations. So what is having, well, we've got to know what they are. We've got to connect the words to the body. So having a good time, what sensations do I want to experience when I'm having a good time? Maybe a high vibration in my body, or breathing, you know, deeply, or relaxing my muscles. So we're starting to create our language, using body sensations as a language along with our thoughts. And that language is our reality. We're creating our reality as a language. That is our reality. Our body language and our brain language becomes our human reality and experience. And then, of course, that affects then how we operate.
Mm-hmm. And
yes.
And I think the emotions which are created during this process, they are like this hidden language which can be working like an antenna, I think, for everything what is surrounding us. This is like this communication language where other people can pick up, like just because we are vibrating in this kind of emotion, they are reacting to us, and we are creating the reality because our vibrations are like on the, I don't know if higher or maybe more consistent, and the reality, nature, people, they are tuning into us.
Yeah.
I understand this in this way. somehow.
Yeah, I agree. I would agree. So an example would be if you're with somebody you really like a really lovely person, and you know, because they're thinking nice things about you, and they're thinking just nice things, and their body sensations are nice. You know, the body's feeling nice as well. So of course you can feel that yourself, and that's why you think I like being with this person because I feel happy, because you can feel them. Your body can feel their body, and your thoughts can actually really your subconscious thought can read their thoughts. Of course you can. You know, even in science now, you know, NLP.
Yes.
Yeah, neuro linguistic programming. So you've got some real experts now. I know a few very good experts. There's a famous guy called Darren Brown.
Yeah, I know him.
Yeah, he does a lot of TV shows. He uses this skill to read people because he can read their body language. So in fact, the body's talking, and he's learned some of this language, like you know, where it goes. Like he can sometimes predict you had an accident on a bicycle when you were young because of the questions he's asking you, and then the way your body and eyes and everything is reacting. Nobody would know. No one else would notice them, but because he studied it, you know, he's learnt that language a bit more. So I would say, yeah, it's a language. It's really amazing. I know what you mean. So you can influence other people. If you can learn your own language as a body language and your mind language, then you can communicate to another body and another mind. You will know how to communicate to them.
Same with the Native Americans, yeah, Indians, which they were like creating the feeling of rain, and the rain came. So I think that was similar language which they used. Like, yeah, they were going into the future, creating this feeling, sensations, and I believe that if there is like a group of people which already experience this happening, so the feeling is much stronger, and they can do it. And if they are doing together, so some kind of this field which is surrounding us is much stronger. Like they make also experiments about people meditating about the peace. Probably you've heard about this, and the criminality in the cities dropped down, and that was just like I don't know, like few percent of the population, not really huge amount of them, and they could influence. Yeah,
I believe this. I mean, it's quite new, isn't it? It's like quite new to kind of newish technology. Some humans are now maybe discovering more, but it's still quite new. So some people can't teach it. They might know it. They might have this idea that this concept, so this is possible. They might believe in it, but also they're not quite sure sometimes how to do it or how to practice it. Some people do. They come together, with big groups, and they'll do a meditation on peace or something. I would say there's a problem with this for myself. The only problem I would say is that everyone has a different idea of what peace is or what love is or what anything is.
Yeah, that's also.
Yeah, so I think for me, it's about teaching people to be able to do this for themselves. So, for example, I do stretching every morning, and Nadine does her yoga. And originally she said, let's do yoga together. And I said, well, no, you do your yoga and I do my stretching, but we'll do it together. And that's so lovely. You know, she's doing her thing, I'm doing my thing, but we've chosen the same time to do it. You know, we're doing our individual practice together, and it's very beautiful. So I feel like instead of trying to get everybody to the church, you know, and let's all sing the same song, you know, let's all believe in Jesus and do all the same thing. It's like, let's all come to church, but do your own thing. But we're there to support each other in supporting each other. So you can do you've got the energy of the group, so it's supporting you doing your thing. Like when I do the Frido breath work, it's always, you're all working on your own symbol. Everybody's working, having their own experience, and they're learning something unique for themselves. It's always different. It's always a unique experience, but we're doing it together. So yeah, there's a power in doing it together.
Mhm.
Definitely. But I'm more interested, and I do agree, and not a lot of people are recognizing that still. But even if they do recognize it, they don't really know how to do it exactly. There's not a method.
I think also that we need to be conscious about how intoxicated our body are, because I noticed this from my experience that when I drink alcohol or when I smoke, it's not so easy to get in tune like right now what we've done. Yeah. So, and even if I don't smoke for 1 week, it still is difficult. This, and on top of that, like we are now living in this pandemic reality and so on, what they are forcing on people, different stuff. Yeah. This is really not beneficial for that, for sure. Because I remember from my childhood, I was really sick person, sick child, and I could only think about how to like survive, not to be stressed, because then my heart was really beating and I was calming me down and down. And eventually later on, when everything passed, I realized some stuff. And like right now, I'm on the path of being healthy also. And most of the people that are going parties, yeah, or even hearing music which is really aggressive, and the vibrations in the body, all the cells, I think they are vibrating in some kind of frequency which preventing them in tuning into this kind of stuff.
Yeah, I mean, some of my kind of belief around this concept is like, I always think something is with us for a reason. So I think if we're smoking, there's something to learn from this activity. Once we learn it, we won't need to smoke anymore. But it's trying to show us something. It might be showing us that this is killing us, yeah, and we need to do some exercise or something, or maybe that's teaching us that lesson, or maybe it's teaching us something else. But it's teaching us something. What I tend to do is, for me, it's like, don't give up smoking. I wouldn't tell people to give up smoking. I'd say keep on practicing, like Frido or something, where you're meditation, where you're learning more, because that learning will lead you to where you need to go, and probably stop smoking. There'll be a point where you realize actually you don't need to smoke anymore. So I think it comes back. I think the key is the self-development. Like, I wouldn't say if I stop smoking or stopped eating garbage, it's going to help me. What would help me is do my self-development, and that will show me the way. And then I will, when I'm ready, when I'm ready, rather than eating healthy will make me ready, I look at it the other way around. I said, no, I need to do the self-development so I can get ready now to let that go. Once I've so it's kind of an opposite viewpoint. I'm not saying this is going to help me, this healthy drink. I'm saying my self-development will help me realize this is now good for me, and I'll enjoy drinking it.
Yeah, of course, I agree with that. The thing is that how you think about addiction or health. If you really don't, if you are a smoker, smoking cigarette, and you don't really have a knowledge that it is not healthy for you, even you have knowledge or you believe that this is beneficial for you, it could be beneficial for you.
Could be.
But as soon as you will get some kind of idea that this can prevent you to get into some kind of, I don't know, enlightenment or whatever, and you already knew that, you already know that your mind is like compromised, and then you are in the point where you need to choose.
Yeah.
But when you don't know, actually, probably it is okay even, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, well, it depends. I mean, your subconscious might be saying this is not okay. This is killing you. But yeah, and also I think self-development is quite complex. So it's like, and I think for me, sometimes if I try and fight something or force something, it's not right. It's not ready. I'm not ready because I'm trying to force it or fight something. It might be true. It might be like I need to give up smoking at one point along my journey, but maybe not now. I don't know. But I personally don't normally fight things. I continue studying them because I'm more curious. I'm thinking, why am I smoking? Is it making me feel good? Can I use it to make me feel? I explore it. I'm curious about why I'm doing it as well. And maybe then I might suddenly think, oh, it's a good opportunity to practice my discipline, so I can use it to develop different skills as well. Definitely rather than fighting it, I'm going to use it. It's going to actually make my ability stronger. And then there'll be a point where I don't need it anymore, because I realize I don't actually need it. And I'm not kind of attracted to it anymore. It's like, I've learned my lessons. Thank you. And then that's gone. And you're probably right. It probably will be gone. But then again, on some level, maybe I will transmute it. Like you said, maybe I can transmute it into something healthy. Some people, take mushrooms and it's good for them, like plant medicines. Tobacco, tobacco's from nature. And maybe one day you'll be able to take it and you can make it healing. That'd be amazing.
Yeah, what I discovered actually this is not discovery, but what I realized, that the smoking is like a breathing techniques to regulate yourself. Yeah, and sucking also. When you suck, like when you are a baby, you suck to the mother's breast.
Yeah.
So this is the thing that why people are doing it, because they regulate themselves. That's why they feel comfortable and easy.
100%.
And another thing is that the industry is selling us this idea that the smoking is bad for your health, but it's not really truth, because tobacco only, it's actually, there are no studies which are showing it's causing any lung cancer or anything like that. This is the cigarette, which have filter, and they are so short that when you smoke the you're breathing the end of the cigarette, and this is the most toxic stuff, because if you have like a long pipe like the Indians had, this is not really causing any sickness in your body. And they were having like a organic tobacco from the garden, so to say. And now you are not allowed to, even in Europe, I know that there are some restrictions. You can't really grow tobacco in your garden. And that's the problem.
Exactly. So I think it's just like Fredo is about changing everything, just creating your own experience, you deciding what that means, and actually making it our reality. And I think that's what it's to break free, break free of everything. It's like Nadine, sorry, babies. You didn't say anything, so I'm going to ask you to share.
I just listened and was like, yeah, I can really relate to everything. And I was, when Maciek said that when people come together, I was thinking that always when I saw these ancient temples, especially in India, I sat there and thought, how the hell did they build these temples without like having machines and so? And then at one point I just thought, yeah, they just came together and built up this energy that they were able to move like big rocks and because for me there's no other, like there were no machines, so they should have moved it with their energy somehow. And I think we just over time this just got lost because we never less people experienced it, and so it's just that's now the reality. No, we cannot move like stones or whatever, but I think yeah, what Maciek said with the rain dance, or so it's like they already experienced it when they do it. When they dance around the fire, then the rain will come because they already experienced it. So yeah, but to the journey today, it was, I feel it's very empowering if you think you can create or you influence your future, because sometimes you just think, yeah, the future, it's my destiny or whatever. But so when you think, I already planted the seeds, it feels very empowering. So that's what I experienced.
Nice, thank you, Nads. So cool, isn't it? We just can share. We can just share our individual experiences, and that for me is like, that's really beautiful. If we can be in a life where people can just share, and that's it, just share what's going on for them. And I think arguing's fine. You know, you can argue with people, so that's okay. You know, I've got friends who I argue with, and like, we might hate each other for a day, but you know, that we know it's going to go. We're just allowing ourselves to kind of have that feeling. You know we're never going to cut each other off. We're just allowing each other to be ourselves in those moments, and I think that's quite powerful. So anyway, yes, we'll come. So give yourself a learning affirmation, like a learning, just a short learning. And turn that into a nice short affirmation, 2 or 3 worded affirmation. It says to you, I got it. And then think of one action that you can do in your life to prove that learning affirmation. That's all we need to do. I've learned in my life, I just go back to Frida, I just do a journey and something changes. I do a journey, something changes. So it's amazing. We just got to keep it simple. So Magic, what have you got? Oh, sorry, I've muted you by mistake.
So I have like a very short sentence. Truth is there.
Truth is there.
Yes. Or here, maybe would be even better. Truth is here, maybe. Yes. So and I can imagine myself when this will happen, or when this is happening, that I'm just sitting there and just like in a position of lotus and doing nothing actually, which is a little bit funny, but this is what I felt.
That's nice. So are you saying that's your action?
Yeah, if you can call this action, yeah.
Yeah, sure. I would say yes. Sometimes doing nothing is also an action.
Yeah, this is like enjoying maybe the moment somehow, or the present, or just the awareness that this actually is happening. Yeah.
That's nice. I like that. I can imagine like you coaching someone and they're talking, and then you just go into that kind of energy. That's amazing, because actually what they're saying, there's a truth in it. There's a truth in what that person's saying. No matter what it is, bad or good, there's a truth in it.
Yeah.
So by you holding that space, maybe they'll see it. Might be quite nice. I was just imagining that, feeling how that would be. Or if you're having an argument with somebody and you just go into that energy and let them just argue, the truth is here. Yeah, that's nice. And that's
It's very simple actually, but it is very straightforward, you know, like, because it is what it is, yeah, so to say. You don't
Yeah.
need to do much, just experience what it is. Yeah, it's even it's simple in my mind or in my feeling, but it's not so simple to explain it.
Yeah.
I think it's hang on, Nadine.
Mhm.
Yeah, I know exactly what I think. I know exactly what you're saying. It's like, it's so like the simplicity, because in many ways the simplicity is actually very complex.
Mhm.
Not complicated, but we make something complicated. But the universe is complex, you know, it's got layers, but it's simple. So like the simplicity, that's why you can't explain it, because actually it's not simple to explain, because it's complex. It's simple to do. If you can just do it, it's so simple. It's ridiculous, but it's so simple you can't explain it. It's like very difficult to explain. You know, it's like when you ride a bicycle, you know, it's simple.
Oh, yeah,
Just get on the
exactly.
bike. Da, 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 da. But to try and explain it, how it works and everything is something else. I know what you mean. And simplicity is just so simple and direct. It's like, it's so simple, everyone misses it.
Mhm.
We miss it all the time. We miss the simplicity all the time. We're always trying to make something more complicated.
Mhm.
It's fascinating, really fascinating, how simple everything actually is. And us humans, we just live in such a complicated, you know, we make everything so complicated. So
Yeah,
yeah,
because our language is so limited. As we growing up, we are putting labels on everything, and then trying to use the words, and we are thinking with words to explain the reality. But and we're making this more complicated as it is. If we would have the abilities to communicate only with our thoughts, this will be just like that. Yeah, just like you're just sending your point of view to someone, and someone can understand. And now we have lots of different languages, this lots of different words for one only object. And if you want to explain something to someone, or we are speaking different languages, and I'm trying to use your language to communicate, it I need to talk and talk and talk, and to get into the point. And but the truth is actually very simple.
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, language. Yes, that's right. We've created language as a form of some kind of. Well, I think I know. I have a sense, for me anyway, for my in my own meditations over the years, I had this realization, because I was also asking this question: is why are people? What are people looking like? What are the main things someone's looking for? And I kind of came up with this. Well, first of all, it was like control, and then why? Because they want to feel stable. And I was thinking, why do people need to want to feel stable? That's why they want to control everything. So that's why they want everyone to agree with them. It makes them feel more stable, like safe and stable. And I was just thinking, at the beginning of the universe, when the universe was creating itself, and when it first created like matter, it was not stable. So it kind of, you know, disappeared, and then it created it again, and you know, because it hasn't got the stability yet. And then over time, it started to become more stable. And I think we're still repeating this idea of like, we need stability, which is quite right. There's nothing wrong with this, because if we're not stable, you know, we go crazy or explode. But I think this is the fear as well, where the fear and control come from, is we have to feel stable. Otherwise we will, we won't be here. We'll be mentally crazy and we won't be able to hold ourselves together or do anything, if we're not stable. And I think people have got this, humans is inside them, the same as the universe, always looking for stability, to different levels. And I think we're at maybe a time when humans need to realize something new about stability, that you don't need people to agree with you. You don't need to control others to feel stable. You can do it all by yourself. And I think for me, that would be a new evolution if everybody could feel stable just by themselves, not relying on anybody else, what they say or what they do. You can actually feel stable. And I think when people start feeling more stable within themselves, then I think the world will change a lot, because there'll be no need for control or fear or all this nonsense, that's going on at the moment. Everybody, they're all arguing, come on my side, come on my side. Because why? Because it makes them feel more stable. Why does someone need to prove they're right all the time or prove their argument? Because it makes them feel stable. That's it. It just makes them feel stable. It's weird. It's a weird thing, but I had this realization. It's just simple again, which everyone's looking for stability. That's all. If everyone could just feel stable within their mind and body, happy days, happy days.
Because they are insecure. That's why, yeah. They want to feel stable, yeah.
Yeah, secure, stable. Security is the same idea. It's not the same, but it's another way to feel stable, to feel secure. I've got money, I've got a home, but then you've got other things like control. People use control to feel stable. They use control to make people, do things for them so they can feel more stable,
Exactly.
and things like this. And also in control. Yeah, I think for me, it's stability. It might be control as well, but I think it's control. I think they're very mixed up. Control, stability, security, this kind of feelings. They're a little bit mixed up, but I do feel like stability is the basic thing, the universe, because when the universe was first creating itself, it didn't have a brain, it wasn't thinking like a human. It wasn't trying to, I need to control that or do something. But it needed to find stability. It kept on looking for stability. How can I stop myself, disappearing? So now I've found I can stabilize. So I think we're kind of mirroring this concept still. That's my personal feeling. So I think, like, for me, Frida also is teaching me about stability, learning how to be stable myself, through because also I'm learning through the emotion, the body sensations. Imagine if you just experiencing your body sensations only as sensations. If you can imagine that, if you're just experiencing them as sensations, nothing else. It's just like, it's doing this, it's doing this, it's doing this, whatever it's doing. Yeah, just sensations. That's mad. I mean, that's crazy, because they're just sensations. They're nothing. They're just vibration in the body. But we've created these huge stories and huge things around them. This means this, and this means this, and this means this. We don't even know what they mean even. We've just kind of created this weird reality about our sensation, how we're feeling, and all this kind of stuff. But if they're just sensations, nothing more, and our thoughts are just thoughts, they're separate. Separate the two. I'm telling you, people will be free. They wouldn't be. Their thoughts are no longer influenced by their sensations, like the labels they've given them, and their sensations are no longer affected by thoughts. The body can just be a body, vibrating and doing things and contracting or releasing, and they can both be free, and the thinking can be free as well, with no attachment. It's just, I'm just thinking. That's all. I'm just thinking. It doesn't matter what I think. Imagine if you could just think whatever you wanted to think or say, and your body can just have whatever sensations it wants. That's total freedom. Complete freedom. Yeah. But of course, people are scared of this. They think, oh, you know, this, because people are scared of anything different. You know that anything unknown, we know that humans are scared. Most humans are scared of anything unknown, anything different, even a different habit, a different way of thinking.
Yeah.
I used to get people working for me, and before they worked for me, they never worked. For example, they would not work on a Sunday in their previous job. And in my salon, we did every fourth Sunday, they would have to come in and work, but then they would have a day off. So there was no difference. They would still get a day off, but they had real problems with this because it was different. Very simple. It's just different. I've just got my stability here. I know my working days. I know what I'm doing every day. And now I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know what's going to happen if I change my routine. And I think humans, again, are very scared of this. So I think it's really, Frido is designed to slowly, get somebody to change naturally without making them feel like they're losing their stability. That's why I'm not like ayahuasca, where I'm saying, oh, it's going to change your life. It's like, no, Frido is very simple. You've already got the abilities. Frido is just showing us, helping us to see them and realize them. That's what I would say Frido is all about. It's all about helping me realize the truth, realize my divinity, my divine power, realizing I'm the universe. This is how I see Frido. It's waking me up, it's making me realize I am that more and more. It's amazing. Sorry, Nadine, I've taken over again. Nadine, you continue.
I was actually finished.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it is quite funny because people they want to change, they want to improve somehow, but they are afraid of the unknown. But only in this unknown there are endless possibilities. Not in this what you actually know already, but in something which you don't know. There is the real experience which can happen and can give you some kind of feeling that you are going forward. And people are afraid of that, which is actually silly, so to say. But people don't realize this. They don't see that.
There's a famous saying, not a saying, there's a concept. And it's the answers, like the answers you're looking for is is what you don't know that you don't know. Not what you don't know, because you don't know some things. Like, I don't know how to fix an engine. Yeah. I don't know how to fix, but I don't know what I don't know. It's like, it's not even there. I don't even know what that is. I don't even know that I don't know it. It's like, that's crazy. But yeah, that's like all the new information, or the information maybe we're stopping. Look, we're not looking at in some way. It's all crazy, isn't it? It's all here. We've got the answers are all here. When I did my last 2 Bufo journeys in Thailand, funnily enough, it was really, really clear to me. It was like, for me, what is Frido? Because that's what I'm looking for, right? And it's like the concept of Frido is everything. Everything is everything. And it's like, so I can eventually, I'll be looking at, I'll be making up my own universe, creating whatever I want. And I had this idea of what it was, and it was like it's already here. I don't see it, it's already here. I'm not experiencing, I'm not realizing that I'm already experiencing it. Right? I'm already experiencing everything, this amazing living the dream. But I don't realize, my body doesn't realize it, and my mind doesn't. And it's like, when I did my 2 Bufo journeys, 1 year after the next, I wanted to explore this, and it was amazing. And I went through the journey, and I had my eyes open. I was very, very conscious through the journeys. And I was just looking around and seeing the magic in the normality. Suddenly everything became like, wow, the tree is still a tree, but it's like, it's not. this is way different, and my sensations and everything. And I remember, and I was meditating on this idea before, you know, like a year, 2 years before Bufo, and I was having some big experiences, and it just validated for me. It kind of validated that for me, that's definitely the truth. The truth is not, it's not over there. It's right here. And I'm missing it. I'm missing something. It's like, what am I missing? I'm missing something because I'm not able to experience it, but I know it's here. That's why I 100% know it's right here. And Frido is just helping me to realize this more and more, so I can actually experience it. And I know because I've had so many experiences where I've had transformation, you know, amazing transformation. I was thinking back to a bad experience. I've done that quite a lot because of the past regression. And I've literally changed those experiences. It's like they completely changed them. It's weird. It's like the same thing happened. I didn't change what happened. I just changed the experience of what happened. And I suddenly can see it as something different. It's suddenly it's a different story. It's not the old story anymore, but not just the story, but the sensations as well. It's like I've created a new experience. Same thing happened, but I've had a completely different, I feel like that experience is completely different, and the old experience is no longer there anymore. I had it for many years. You know, we're stuck with our same experiences all our life, but it showed me I can change my past experiences like completely. That's really like
you changed your perspective, yeah.
But not just from the mind, yeah, from the mind and the body,
yeah,
both. Yeah, suddenly it's like I had a different experience. It's like I never had that old experience, the bad one. It was like now I just remember it and can feel it as a good experience because I see the value. I just totally realized the value of that experience. Suddenly it became a fantastic experience. But mind and body, not just the mind, because the mind, I can do that. I'm quite good at changing things in the mind and like seeing the positive of something. But to actually feel it in the body, that's different, because then it becomes a reality in the body. Not only just up here, because it's not the same. When it's just in the mind, it's like, it's not the same. It doesn't change how your body feels. Yeah, it's very exciting. Yeah, next week we're going to be working with that card. You can see it, the elements.
Yeah. Oh, that will be interesting.
Yes, we're changing the family now. We've done the emotion family, so we've really gone into this thoughts and body sensations and time, you know, past and present and future. And now we're going to move on to the elements, which is the, you know, the world we live in, the objects that, yeah, the objects, the things that are in our life outside of us, because we've been working more with the body, the heart, the brain, the emotions, and now we're going to be working with our environment. Yeah, everything around us now. We're not just here. We're also out here, and now we're going to be exploring out here, which is really cool as well. It's very exciting. Yeah, it's very exciting. This is all about it's all about empowerment. It's also about our personality. It's about who we are, how we talk, how we act in our life, how we behave, you know. And it's really finding ourselves as a strong being, you know, expressing through our human, you know, voice and our human actions as a human. And this is terrific, this one as well. We'll learn a lot from those the next three. We'll be working with like the elements is like the God family. When I say God, not really as religious, but the creator of the physical, of the physical universe, the symbol that created everything physical, all the elements, everything in the universe. And the two children are cool because one of the children, the female, is the goddess or the angel. They're kind of archetypes as well. They're all archetypes. You know, God is like an archetype. The goddess is like an archetype. And her brother, of course, the devil, the shadow. Yeah, another archetype. So these are great energies to work with. They're good fun. We'll be doing space and density. Yeah, space is the goddess and density is the devil, the shadow, because density is like, you know, solid, and space is like just different energies. But they're both very, very powerful. So if we want to operate as a human being, these are the best ones, because this, like the most successful people, or not successful, but the most famous or successful people in the world, is because they really connected to their solar plexus, who they are. They know who, or, you know, they know who they are. And when they speak, like Mother Teresa, even Donald Trump, anybody, Hitler, anybody who's like powerful, let's say, who's shown their power in some way, is because they really acting, you know, they've got such a strong sense of who they are, what they want, you know, how they want to act. It's very powerful, in fact, especially on a human, like physical level. That's why people like Donald Trump, some people say, well, how did he become president? He's crazy. Yeah, it doesn't matter if you're crazy. Hitler was crazy. The point is, he had an ability. He knew what it took to become a powerful human being as a human, using his personality, using his thinking and his action. Mother Teresa, the same, you know, when you think of those people, they embodied who they were, you know, bad or good, but they embodied who you're very clear that there's no mistake about Donald Trump. There's no mistake who Hitler was or what he wanted. No mistake about Mother Teresa, Buddha, Jesus. Very clear who they were. You know, Jesus was not a businessman, nor was Mother Teresa, you know, but so they're so clear in who they are with everything they do. So this is really about us. It's about us finding really, who am I? Who am I? Do I wear suits and tie, you know, to do a talk, or do I go in old jeans? Who am I? Because it doesn't matter what we do. What matters is, are we aligning what we do to ourselves? You know, when I go and do a talk, I never dress up anymore. I used to, because I used to think that's what a successful talker does on stage. He has to look smart. And then I realized that's not me. And I started going on in jeans, you know, however I felt. So this is so powerful. It's really about finding our brand. Imagine you've got a business and it's a bit not very successful because no one knows what it is exactly. You know, it's like, is it pizza? Is it evening meal? Is it breakfast? You know, what is it? Is it a shoe shop? You know, and people get, but the ones that are successful, you can see they're very clear, simple as well. McDonald's. I hate McDonald's, but I can't deny they've got a strong brand. They know who they are. And therefore they won't sell pizza. They can make money from pizza. They won't sell it because they lose their identity. That's not who they are. And the same with a pizza place. They don't sell hamburgers because they know who they are. And I think in life, we've got to know who we are and be clear that everyone who looks at us, everyone who knows us, describes us in a way that we want them to describe us. That's who I am. So this is really about the next 3 journeys, about really finding out who we are and how to be, how to express ourselves as who we are. And that's powerful. We become our own powerful brand. It's like magic. I know magic. I know exactly who he is. I know what he does. I know what he's going to do tomorrow. I know what he will do if he's at a party and there's an argument. I know him that well because he expresses himself that clearly that everyone knows who he is. And that's really powerful. Yeah, super powerful. So anyway, any last words?
So actually, I enjoyed that we were today in such a small group. We had more time to talk, actually.
Yeah.
So yeah, I like it. So we'll see how big the group will be next time. But because of this subject, I hopefully wouldn't be too much because I would like to talk and experience some. I mean, I'm just saying only like that, but I'm missing guys, missing those. But actually, it was really good today, I must say. I like it.
Good. I'm happy. And Nads, any last words?
Yeah, I wait, I'll make this echo thing away. Yeah, I really enjoyed most of the time listening to you guys. But yeah, no, that was really nice. It's a small group, but anyway, I also enjoy if it's a big group. And I'm really looking forward for the next, like especially for space and density, which is then next time is elements, right? And then space and density. So yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right,
Thank you,
guys. So yeah, it's always perfect anyway. I mean, I always look at this as my own self-development anyway. So if one person's here or 10, you know, I'm always just developing myself through the process. So it's always really, it's always perfect. I used to do workshops, sometimes no one turned up. And it was quite funny, you know, I'd be in a room. Yeah, I'd rent out a room sometimes, and occasionally no one turned up. And I thought, and it was the best because I thought, this is wonderful. I've created a workshop for myself, and I had to learn a lot. Yeah, through that. I used to take myself through the workshop, which was really, really valuable. It was nice. Anyway, guys, listen, have a great night. Have a great day.
Thank you.
We've seen Magic do some practicing.
I will.
And
But probably he goes sleeping now.
Yeah, I will go to bed now soon. Yeah. Thank you. And yes, have a good day.
I hope we can soon come to Thailand.
yeah.
Yeah, I hope to. Yeah, I would love to see you guys here.
Yeah, it would be amazing.
Okay. Bye. See you
Okay.
next week.
See you
Yeah,
soon,
see
guys.
you.
Bye.
Bye.